Welcome back, you guys. What you were saying, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys a predicted lineup for our upcoming game tomorrow against Leicester City in the FA Cup. Now, we have an opportunity here to potentially get some silverware. Now, it seems like I could be being quite ambitious. Personally, I don't think so. If you judge how we're ending this current season, we're ending things on a very high note. And the one major advantage that we do have is that Lampard has a full strength team to work with. This means that he has options, and as we've seen in the past two games since the Premier League has restarted, Lampard has used his options and it's benefited us as games have gone on. I feel like we have to take this opportunity very serious for tomorrow. If we could win silverware at the end of the season, imagine what it's going to do for the younger players in this team. The young, hungry players, imagine how that's going to inspire them and push them on to bigger and further heights. Now, we've seen this similar effect with previous Chelsea teams back in the day, you guys. Back when we used to win the Carabao Cup, or as it was previously known as the Carling Cup, we used that opportunity, we used those wins to spur us on and take us to new heights. Now, you guys could call me an optimist, and there have been a few times where maybe my love for this club has clouded my judgment, but come on, you guys, can you really blame me? For tomorrow's game, I can imagine that Lampard is going to rotate the team slightly. He's going to make some smart rotational choices because certain players could do with a bit of a rest because we have games coming thick and fast. In today's predicted lineup 11, I'm going to give you guys my best estimate when it comes to the potential lineup we could see for tomorrow. So if you like today's video, remember to smash that like button, help me go over 2,000 likes for today's video, and without wasting no more time, we start with the first prediction, and that's Tammy Abraham up front. Now, recently, Tammy's cameo appearances have been quite decent. Against Aston Villa, he never had too much time. However, we saw the positive impact of Tammy Abraham against Man City recently. Tammy Abraham's willingness to run the channels, running behind as well, stretch opposition defenses is going to be key. And in that sense, it was that tactical change that really just, put the game in our favour and helped us get that advantage against Man City. Now, I personally felt like Tammy has played quite well against Leicester City, and I'm expecting the player to be raring to go. He wants to get his name back on the score sheet. He came close countless times against Man City, and tomorrow Leicester City will give us the perfect opportunity to see Tammy Abraham score a goal. I'm hoping he bangs in a few in tomorrow's game. We now move on to the right hand side, and I have Willian in this team. Now, Willian is just superhuman at times. His fitness, his stamina, he's constantly able to make himself, an asset for the team and an option for the team too. Now, at this point in time, Hudson-Odoi might not be fully fit to really start this game, and Pedro, he could potentially start, but I don't see that being the case. I think this team does need Willian's ability to support the player in the final third, be that option up front that's able to keep possession of the ball, hold the ball up as well, bring people in, and obviously complement the build-up phase of our game. So I'm expecting Willian to start in tomorrow's game. Now, down the left-hand side, I think this one's fairly obvious, but I'm expecting to see Christian Pulisic starting against Leicester City. Now, there's a big opportunity here for him to score 3 in 3 games. Would that really be a surprise? I don't think so whatsoever. I do think that we can create some opportunities in the transition against Leicester City, and with Pulisic's directness, his fearlessness, his pace, his movement in behind as well, you're naturally going to see this guy inside the box time and time again. He's in such great form right now. He's fully confident. He's raring to go. And it's starting to feel like every opportunity he gets in front of goal, that there's a big chance it's going to go in the back of the net. So credit to Pulisic. He's worked so well on his finishing ability. You can see the improvements that he's made as the season has gone on. And against Leicester City, we need that directness to obviously try and pin them back out wide and create that havoc against their defense. Now, we move on to the midfield positions, starting down the left side of the midfield, and I have Loftus-Cheek starting in this game. Now, yes, I know that in previous predicted lineup 11s, I've had him starting in every single game, but this time I think that I could finally see my wish of Loftus-Cheek playing as our number 8. And I think the reason for this is that we never saw him against Man City. I think that there was obviously tactical reasons too, and also because Lampard wants to give Loftus-Cheek an opportunity to start a game for the full 90 minutes. And I think the game against Leicester City is the perfect opportunity to see that happen. You guys, I just want to see Loftus and Pulisic combining down that left-hand side. That really excites me. And the quicker we see this, this could potentially be another asset to our game. another dangerous component of our game. I haven't seen these guys play yet, but I just have this sneaking suspicion that it would be a beautiful partnership. I'm really praying that I don't see Loftus-Cheek playing on the left wing. I don't think he's poor defensively. I just think Lampard did that for tactical reasons. The more game time Loftus-Cheek gets, the quicker he's going to get back to his previous form. And now we move on to the right hand side of the midfield, and I have Mateo Kovacic partnering them. Now Kovacic, he has to work very hard to keep his place in the team. With the emergence of Mason Mount playing a lot deeper, with Ross Barkley's form being on point, and with Barkley actually providing things in the final third, I think rightfully these players might be rested a bit to allow some of the more rotational players at this point in time to get some game time and show Lampard what they're really about. Now I have to say that I have been a little bit disappointed with Kova. Of course, throughout the season he's had many great spells and moments. However, against Aston Villa, playing in a more advanced role midfield, I just didn't see anything, and even if I saw that game twice, I still can't remember what Kova brought. This is an opportunity for Kova to show Frank Lampard why you can't forget his name, why he deserves to play in the team too, and to demonstrate his work when it comes to improving on his attacking play. I think if Kova starts, it really could benefit the final player to complete this midfield, and I have Billy Gilmour playing in the base of midfield. Now yes, I know that Jorginho is back, but I think maybe Lampard might decide to use him as a sub as time goes on. I think when Billy Gilmour was used over Jorginho in that game against Man City, Lampard seems to be very impressed by Billy's brief cameo. We all saw that pass he made to Pedro, and of course it's not like this was like the best pass we've ever seen. I think the reason why we were all so impressed by that is that Billy is still very young, he hasn't played as much this season, and when it comes to that pass, he needed to make that pass because that was the right one, that was the correct one in that moment in time. The fact that Billy was able to keep his composure and play the right pass with beautiful weight further demonstrates why Lampard is having more and more faith in the player, and I really think that faith Lampard has could translate in Billy Gilmour starting against Leicester City. I feel like the guy has just bulked up even more, he looks like he's matured even more, and I'd be really interested to see him just playing those beautiful passes to your Rubens and your Pulisic in this team, and with Kovacic potentially playing alongside him, I feel like Gilmour could have that protection beside him whenever a Loftus-Cheek was to bomb forwards and move in the final thirds. Now we move on to our back four, starting with the left back, and I actually have Azpilicueta starting in this team. Now, I don't think that Azpi will necessarily finish the entire game, but I do think Lampard might consider using the player down the left-hand side. Now, I've been saying this for a while, but if I get my dream, if my dream comes true and I see Ruben and Pulisic down that left-hand side, maybe that counterbalance of having an Azpilicueta in behind them, providing that defensive support and that support in the final thirds, could allow these two to do what they do best, which is attacking teams and getting goals. Now for me, since this restart's happened, I think that Azpilicueta's form has been quite good. I think he's provided something in the final third. We can't dismiss those 2 assists he got against Aston Villa, and the player seems to be in a very confident run of form at this point in time. With no Jorginho starting in this predicted 11, I can imagine that Lampard still wants some leadership presence on the field, and this is where Azpilicueta steps in and does his thing. Moving on to the left centre back, and I have Rudiger continuing to play in that role. Now we know that Tomori isn't fully fit at this point in time, and I don't personally think that Kurt Zouma is best down the left hand side. I see Rudiger continuing on playing in this position, and I thought Rudiger's game against Man City was very good. He was winning so many aerial duels, so many important tackles and interceptions as well, and it's the type of Rudiger performance I want to see more of. So if he can continue that momentum, I think starting against Leicester City could be beneficial, because for me, he might be the best player to play down the left hand side of the centre back positions. And now you guys move on to his partner beside him, and I have Kurt Zouma playing in this team. Now I see Zouma being that rotational option. I think Christensen picked up a pretty heavy injury that he tends to pick up quite frequently these days, so I think that he might be rested for future games. This could be an opportunity for Kurt Zouma to remind Frank Lampard why he shouldn't give up on him, why he needs to still keep having that faith in him, and to allow Zouma to remind the fan base too what he can offer and bring to the team. With reports suggesting that he could potentially leave once the season does end, for me I would be quite disappointed, because I think his season's been quite good. However, I get from a tactical perspective why he might have to be sacrificed. And to complete this back four, I have Reece James playing in the right back position. Now, when we never saw him play against Man City, I think that told all of us that Lampard might be saving the player for this game against Leicester City instead. In that sense, it kind of takes away the pressure a bit because it is a league game, and in the league right now we need to secure a top 4 spot for our hopes for next season. So with Reece playing against Leicester City, this could be a way for him to slowly regain his form and regain his conditioning too. I'm assuming that he must be fully fit at this point in time. I really miss his crosses and his delivery from that side, and against Leicester City, a team that like to attack down the flanks, we have to be equally strong in these areas. If Reece starts, I can imagine the player having an impact of some kind, and you guys, to complete this predicted 11, of course, it's going to be Kepa in goal. And the only thing I want to say about Kepa is that I hope his passing game is going to be a lot better. Too often he's hitting balls out of play, too often he isn't adding to our attack, too often he isn't finding his man either, with reports linking him with a potential 2-year loan move to Valencia. If Kepa has serious plans to stay here for next season and be that number 1, I feel like he has to step up, show a lot more, and provide something for the team. And there you guys was my predicted 11 video. As you can see beside me, you can see the sub bench, and you know, I'm hoping to see guys like Hudson-Odoi get a few minutes. I'm hoping the player's fit enough in the first place to actually be part of the squad for tomorrow's game. I'm hoping too that we see opportunities for maybe young players to get some game time too. Tino Anjorin, he signed his new deal, and for me, I'd love to see him make some cameo near the end of some kind. With how strong our bench is, I feel like whatever happens during the game, we're going to have options to, turn the tide back in our favour, as we've seen in the previous 2 games against Aston Villa and against Man City. So tomorrow, you guys, I am feeling confident, and for my score prediction, I'm actually going for a 2-1 win against Leicester City. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm the FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more videos.